Hello students, today's class we'll see about elasticity. This is your core paper 1. The title of the paper is Properties of Matter and Sound. This is your subject code 1 CP1. In this unit, we'll study about elasticity, definitions, why glass is more elastic than rubber, work done in a deforming a body, bulk modulus, modulus of rigidity, relations between elastic constants, Poisson's ratio, limiting value of Poisson's ratio, twisting of a cylinder, statistical method for the determination of modulus of rigidity, and torsional pendulum. So in this class, I am going to give you the introduction part about the elasticity. What is elasticity? Elasticity is the ability of a body to return to its original size and shape when that influence or force is removed. An elastic body is a one that returns to its original shape after deformation. Deformation means change. Then we'll see some example for elastic body. Rubber is the best example for elastic body. Then the spring is also an example for elastic body. Then golf ball. Then the football, basketball, all the balls we can say it's elastic body. That is, inside it is made up of elastic particles. Then what is inelastic body? An inelastic body is a one that does not return to its original shape after deformation. That means it does not return to its original shape after the deformation. Again, I'll tell you, deformation means change. Then metal ball is an example for elastic body, inelastic body. Then clay is another example for inelastic body. Then the clay. So again, I have given here example. So we can make it into any shape, but it won't come to the original shape again. So it is called inelastic body. So then tough is also an example. Floor we can say is an example, and the bread is also an example for inelastic body. Then metal ball also an example for inelastic body. It won't come to the original shape and size after deformation. So these all are the examples for inelastic body. Then this is a spring. The spring is an example of an elastic body that can be deformed by stretching. See here, I have attached the spring with the help of a stand, and the weight is added at the other end. So what will happen? The spring is getting moved up and down with a distance x. That means it displayed at a distance x. F is a force. So a restoring force, F is a restoring force acting in the direction opposite to the displacement of the oscillating body. So this is applied force, and this one is a restoring force. So F is equal to minus K into X. Then here I have given the link for elastic body simulations. I'll show you. Wait for a second. Here it is getting loaded. Wait for a second. See here, the spring is attached. Two springs are attached in the stand. I am going to put a 100 grams weight. Again 100 grams weight on the other ring. I am going to play this. What happened? So both are moving simultaneously. So the stress what we have applied is a weight, and the materials is getting lengthened, is called a strain. So this is the example for Hooke's law. Stress is directly proportional to strain, and this is also an example for elastic body. So now let me remove this weight and add the different weight. So what will happen? See the weight one who have more will elongate much. So that means it displayed much. So that we can measure with the help of a scale or something else. So then we can calculate the force. So this shows a best example for elastic body and also Hooke's law. Okay, I'll come to Hooke's law later. Then again I am back to my class. Wait. So next I have stopped with that. The next I'll move to stress. Stress is a force applied to a material divided by the material's cross-sectional area. That is, sigma is equal to force by area. Then here sigma is called the stress. The unit is Newton per meter squared or power. F is a force which is measured in Newton, and A naught is called the original cross-sectional area. Instead of A naught we can mark A also. So sigma is equal to F by A is called the stress. That means stress is the ratio of force and area. Area is measured in meter squared. Then types we'll see. There are two types. One is a tensile stress, another one is a compressive stress. We'll see one by one. So stress is of two types. One is a tensile stress, another one is a compressive stress. What is tensile stress? It is the force applied per unit area which results in the increase in length of a body. That means when we apply the load, the length will be increased. The objects under tensile stress become thinner and longer. Whereas the compressive stress, what is compressive stress? It is the force applied per unit area which results in the decrease in length of a body. Here increase in length of a body, here decrease in length of a body. The object under compressive stress become thicker and shorter. Here thinner and shorter. That's the best difference between tensile stress and the compressive stress. A tensile stress occurs when equal and opposite forces are directed away from each other. Here I have given the example. Again this is a stand and it is attached with some spring and loaded with a weight W. So what happened? So here the force is acting opposite to the applied force. So here when equal and opposite forces are directed away from each other, both the forces are directed away from each other. So this arrow mark shows both are acted away from each other. Whereas the compressive force occurs when equal and opposite forces are directed towards each other. So both will be directed towards each other. Here I have given the example. Again here is a stand and weight. So here the compression means we have to give a pressure. So what happened means both will be acted towards each other. So this is called a compression. In compression there is a decrease in length of a body and also it becomes thicker and shorter. Whereas in the case of tensile stress the object becomes thinner and longer. Next I'll move to strain. Strain is the deformation or displacement of a material that results from an applied stress. Let me repeat. Strain is the deformation or displacement of a material that results from an applied stress. Here I have given the equation. The strain is nothing but change in length divided by original length. This is the equation. Sigma is equal to L minus L naught divided by L naught, where sigma is a strain, capital L is the length after the load is applied, then L naught is the original length. The material's change in length, that is L minus L naught, sometimes referred as sigma. So we can write it as sigma is equal to del divided by L naught. This is del, not sigma, this is del. So sigma is equal to del divided by L naught we can give. That is the equation for strain. Next we will see the strain in detail. Sigma is equal to L minus L naught divided by L naught. We know that this L minus L naught is nothing but change in length and L naught is nothing but original length. See here, L naught is the original length of this material. Here we have given the tensile force, tensile stress. What happened means it is getting stretched, the length is getting increases, and this is called change in length, and A is called area of cross section. So this is nothing but a strain. Next we will see about the types of strain. There are two types. One is tensile strain, another one is compressive strain, similar to tensile stress and compressive stress. We will see one by one. What is tensile strain? It is the change in length or area of a body due to the application of tensile stress. Let me repeat, tensile strain is nothing but it is the change in length or area of a body due to the applications of tensile stress. whereas compressive strain is nothing but it is the change in length or area of the body due to the applications of compressive stress. This is due to tensile stress, and this is due to compressive stress. And here I have given some example. So we know that the stress and strain are the mechanical properties of the material, and it plays a vital role, and it is important role in determining whether the component can withstand the applications loading conditions. See here, this is the compression. As I told you previously, so compression means both the force acting towards each other. Tension or tensile force means both will be acted opposite to each other. Then shearing means this is a vertical one and this is a horizontal horizontal force in opposite direction. And torsion means a rotation. Then bending means here we have to apply the stress or load and it will bend. Okay. And here is I have given separately for tension. These two are more important. Tensile or tension we can say. So tension means both will be acting away from the body. So compression means the force will be acting towards the body. So the next I'll move to Hooke's law. This Hooke's law was given by the scientist Robert Hooke. According to Hooke's law, within the elastic limit, the stress is directly proportional to strain. So the stress, we can write it as stress is equal to E into strain. That means the proportionality can be replaced by putting a constant. That is, stress is equal to E into strain, or E can write E is equal to stress by strain, where E is a constant of proportionality, or we can name it as modulus of elasticity, and it depends on the material being deformed and on the nature of deformation. So let me repeat it again. According to Hooke's law, within the elastic limit, the stress is directly proportional to strain. So these things we have to keep it in our mind. Hooke's law again is nothing but within the elastic limit, the stress is directly proportional to strain. So next I'll move to Hooke's law simulations. So here I have given the link, students. You just copy this link and paste it in your Google, and it will be directed to the simulations. You can see what the Hooke's law will react. Next, elastic limit. The elastic limit is the maximum stress of a body can experience without becoming permanently deformed. Here we know the formula, stress is equal to force by area. Here this is the original length 2 meter. I am applying a load. What happened? This is a tensile force acting. So the length is little bit increases. If we remove the load means then it will going to the original position. The length will not be increases. Again when we add extra weight, so then after removing the weight it will not go to the original, that is 2 meter, we will get the extra thing. That means it is the beyond the limit. Actually it should be 2 meter, but we will get some 2.2, 2.1 something else. It is called beyond limit. So if the stress exceeds the elastic limit, the final length will be longer than the original length. This is the elastic limit. Elastic limit is up to 2 meter only. Then after that it won't react like a elastic body. So next I'll move to ultimate strength. What is ultimate strength? The ultimate strength is the greatest stress of a body can experience breaking or rupturing. See, again the same example, 2 meter. We are applying the load. This is a tensile force. Again we are applying the load. Again we are applying the load. What happened? The load is not applicable for this wire. So it is getting breaked. So if the stress exceeds the ultimate strength, the string breaks. This is the example for ultimate strength. The next one I will move to longitudinal stress and strain. So again first we have to take a stand and it should be hanged with some rod or a spring. So this L is the original length. Then after including the weight, it is moving into some particular distance, that is called a displacement, and this is delta L is called change in length. A is area and F is a force. We know the formula, stress is equal to force by area and strain is equal to change in length by original length. So this is called longitudinal stress and strain. Next, Young's modulus. So Young's modulus Y is equal to normal stress by longitudinal strain. So we know the formula, stress is equal to force by area and strain is equal to change in length by original length. That is delta L divided by capital M, and this graph shows the graph between stress and strain. Here there is a linear change. Stress sigma and strain. See, this plot shows the stress against strain for a object showing elastic behavior get a straight line. Okay, linear. And the unit is Newton per meter square. Next one, bulk modulus. The bulk modulus is defined as the ratio of volume stress to volume strain. We know the formula: stress is equal to force by area and strain is equal to change by original. So since it is a volume strain, we have to give change in volume by original volume. So here the force is opposite. Restoring force is opposite to applied force, so it is given as minus. So F is generally denoted as pressure. If it is F by A is pressure, means then this equation becomes P is equal to minus P divided by delta V by V. So this we can rearrange it, minus PV divided by delta V. And the unit is, it is unitless. Strain is unitless because volume that will get cancelled. So it is unitless. This is about a bulk modulus. With this I want to stop this class, students. The remaining class we'll see in the next class. Thank you.